began to talk, and over the next year, I talked to him a lot of times over the next year, and he would send my name, and nobody would ever come see me. And finally, about a year later, I was going to college, working in construction, struggling financially. My dad had died on my 14th birthday, and I became a sort of a troubled youth. I'd run away and done a bunch of foolish things. My hair was down sort of over my shoulders, and you would not want to see those pictures. I actually had hair then. But I was struggling, and I'd met Lisa, and we were dating, and by the time this guy finally sent my name to a guy who sent it to another guy, who sent it to another guy, and this guy came and contacted me in January of that year. Lisa and I were not yet, we weren't even engaged. We got engaged in February. But that's how young I was and inexperienced, and maybe that's why they wouldn't come see me, is because they didn't want a young, single, irresponsible guy on their team. But the guy that finally did come, he sat down with me that day. He sold me 3 things. And I've told some of you this story, but I want it to be loud and clear to you. He sold me that night 3 things. He helped me, he sold me an insurance plan, and there's never been a time that I haven't felt great about the financial products that I've purchased. My dad died without any insurance. I personally watched our farm in Idaho get repossessed, and I watched my mother lose all of our assets that my dad had worked hard to accumulate. And so I believed in insurance. He sold me a little insurance plan. It was $50 a month for $100,000 worth of term. He also sold me a little mutual fund. He was securities licensed, had just gotten his licenses. He sold me a $60 a month mutual fund. I couldn't afford either of them, but I knew I needed them and had committed that I was going to keep them, and I did, and have over all these years. The third thing he sold me, though, that night was on going in business with him, was submitting my associate membership agreement. And I did. And of all the things we did that night, the one I'm most grateful for is that he sold me on working with him in business. But it was just a couple months later when he called me and quit. He quit on me. Have you ever had somebody quit on you? Raise your hand if you've ever had anybody quit on you. Raise your hand if you've had your upline leader quit on you. Raise your hand if that's you. Well, I'm proud of you then, that you're still here and they're not. You know, when they call you, when your upline leader calls you and quits, his voice gets a little whiny. He was such a good guy, I thought, so powerful, and he called me to say, you know, I've been thinking about it. And he was just sort of whiny, and then a few minutes later he said, you know, I'm going to quit the business. I don't think this is for me. And that means that I was now going to report to a guy that was 9 hours away. I lived out in St. George's north of here, just a short ways. And the guy that he reported to lived in Denver. That was a 9-hour drive. And that guy moved from Denver to Atlanta not long after that. So the closest my leadership has ever been in my entire career was 9 hours away from me, and most of my career he was 2,000 miles away from me. And here you are, you probably have, my favorite words, by the way, are F words. And the most despicable words on planet Earth are F words too. But I love this word faith, and I love the word family, and I love the word finances, and I love the word fitness. And I love other words that support those. Like faith ought to be the foundation. That foundation word is a great word. And with regard to your family, the word fidelity. Fidelity ought to be a word that dominates your family thinking. And frugality for a good while. Until you're financially secure and beyond. Frugality, I love that word, to be frugal. And I love words like fun. And I love food. And I love one overarching word that if we'll balance our lives with these F words I've just thrown out, then one huge big F word pops out called freedom. Freedom, it gives you freedom. Freedom from pain, freedom from fear, freedom from, that's a bad F word, fear. But freedom from divorce, freedom from health issues, and freedom from other things, freedom from addictions and other stuff that can get you in life. And so I don't care whether it's faith or family or finance or fitness or other areas of your life. Success there begins with commitment. And I want you to know commitment is the first step. It's not the 27th step. I know you've heard this. I doubt, by the way, that I'm going to say anything to you. I doubt I'll say anything to you that you haven't already heard today or over this weekend. But I might say it in a different way a little bit. I'm still going to say it to you. So I have a little bit more time up here. They're telling me how much time I have. I'm going to keep talking. But commitment. And I wish you would rate your commitment. I wish you would look for a second, maybe out to the right of that word commitment. Do a self-assessment. And on a scale of 1 to 10, assess how you think you are. Meaning, maybe a 1 means we ought to put you in jail tomorrow or today. And a 10 means you'll be a billionaire tomorrow afternoon. So rank yourself for your own self-assessment. Where are you at? Because most of us in this room probably need to make a stronger commitment. It's the first step, not the 12th step. It's not the 27th step. It's the first step to greatness. And I know you know that. But I'd love it if you would assess yourself and decide what you're going to do to become more committed. You know that people can smell a commitment. You can walk into a room and they can almost smell it. They can taste it, they can feel it, they can sense it. The vibes that you put off, people can read them, and they can read them within seconds. So number 1 is commitment that I just wanted to share that with you. Number 2, I want to challenge you to get disturbed. Some of you say, well, I am disturbed. I don't mean that way. I want you to become disturbed. Do you know that logic alone, one of the great frustrations I see, I was gone for 3 years. Lisa and I have been back for a year and a few months now from our mission. And I have traveled, I'm platinum.
You know that I'll probably talk some more about her in my part. But from the beginning of our courtship and friendship and then marriage, we have been side by side, supporting each other, strengthening each other, I think probably most importantly, believing in each other. And every day, we wake up grateful for how much we not only love each other, but how much we respect and admire and appreciate each other. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I truly wish more people in the world experienced what we get a chance to experience. Thank you for your support. And so she knows from her perspective every bit as much about the business as I do. You know, she has it from, as I mentioned, from a little bit different perspective. She was more in operations, I was more out in the field and some of these things, but we had been through it all from working on our prospect list in the beginning to running a large-scale hierarchy and offices to founding a company and putting up capital and doing all the things and negotiating with insurance companies, and we've had this full run. We are 4 days short of our 36th wedding anniversary. You know, and as you can probably imagine, we marvel regularly over what has happened with all of this. Not only to us and our family, but to so many families around us. There's a lot of things I like about that, and for which I'm grateful in relation to making money and to have the privilege and the blessing of making a lot of money. But there are a couple of things I don't like about it. One of the things I don't like about it is sometimes people find out about it and they look at you differently. And they think somehow your life experience isn't like theirs. Or you'll see someone up on the stage like the people you've been watching and the people you'll be watching the rest of tonight and tomorrow. and you'll think somehow they are luckier than you, or they have better backgrounds than you, or they're better educated than you, or they just got a break that you haven't gotten. And that's a trap sometimes we lay for ourselves. It's a self-deception many times. And I want you to take a little bit of a walk with me over the next couple of minutes down the back path, or our memory lane, if you will, for Cindy and I.